reflecting back on what happened in the past day, what happened in the past couple days, and looking at the lessons learned is such a freaking critical part of a successful life that I cannot possibly emphasize enough. The reason why I have that mindset is because I spend so much time intentionally looking back at, hey, what happened in the past day? What happened in the past month? What has it brought me? What am I grateful for? Okay, that reflection, that looking back on, hey, where am I at the end of my day? That habit, when you do it daily, will give you so much information.
Happy birthday to you.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the No Half Cakes podcast. My name is Jim Sabelico, and I am super happy to have you with me for another awesome week. Now, today is Mindset Monday, which means we're going to be starting off the week with a powerful, positive perspective to help you win this week. But before we get into that, just a quick bit of housekeeping. Wednesday's show. If you have not yet seen some of the Wednesday shows, heard the Wednesday shows, depending upon where you listen, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I'm all over the place. So if you have not yet subscribed, please also do that. That being said, Wednesday shows are by far some of the absolute best shows that I've put together, especially the ones that are coming out in this little time span here. Some of the conversations that we get into are absolutely cannot miss. So I highly encourage you to go check those out. If you have not yet, those are our long form versions of the show. Those are meant to be a real raw conversation. I sit down with someone, we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We talk about life, our struggles, our success, and just trying to figure out the lessons we learned along the way to kind of help you figure those things out without having to go through some of those pain points yourself. Other version of the show is Saturday. I do something called a strategy sprinkle. That is a short, tactical, practical tip to help you level up in your personal or professional life. That all being said, today, Mindset Monday, what I want to talk to you about is the power of reflection. Now, last week we talked a little bit about what it means to have proper boundaries. We talked about setting boundaries. We talked about doing an energy audit. If you haven't caught those yet, please go back, listen to those first. It's going to make a lot more sense than what we're talking about right now if you haven't yet. We talked about the importance of boundaries. Okay, we talked about your energy. We talked about what it means to have things that drain your energy, things that bring you energy and bring you joy, bring you fulfillment. Today I want to talk about reflection, because this is an absolute necessary part of that entire process. What I mean by that is, once we've identified the things that drain our energy, the things that bring us energy, one of the best things you can do is start to look at what happens, how do you feel when you start to make those changes in your life, right? And that's the importance of reflection. Is identifying the things like we did on Saturday with our energy audit, identifying the things that drain energy from you, where you can remove those, and identifying things that bring you joy, and you can do more of those. Right? That's awesome. I'm glad that we did that. But now we need to actually put it into practice. So what we're doing now is talking about reflecting, thinking back, journaling, looking at how those changes we've made have impacted our life. Okay, and reflection is something that I believe you should do every single day. Now, there's a couple important parts of that. One of them, I feel, is gratitude. Gratitude is something I talk about a lot, because if you are grateful mind, grateful heart will lead you to a happy heart, will lead you to a joyful heart, will lead you to a truly successful life if you can be grateful. You physically in your brain cannot be anxious and grateful at the same time. Okay, your brain cannot process both emotions at the same time. So if you make it a daily habit to be grateful, to reflect back on your previous day, your previous couple of days, and think, hey, what am I grateful for? And you find something and you build that habit of intentional gratitude. It is going to build up a muscle that will push away anxiety. It'll push away the fear and the concern. Okay, it will help keep you in a joyous spot. So the more that you make it a daily habit to look back on, hey, what am I grateful for? What went well? What went maybe not so well, but put me in a spot that I'm going to need to be for something in the future. Reflecting back on what happened in the past day, what happened in the past couple days, and looking at the lessons learned is such a freaking critical part of a successful life that I cannot possibly emphasize enough. As someone who has failed a tremendous amount and continues to fail a tremendous amount, people ask me, like, how do you go through life just failing at stuff and continuing to push forward? And I personally believe the answer that I often give them is reflection. Because every time I fail, I know already, hey, this time I'm failing, this thing sucks. I know already at some point in the future, I'm going to look back at this and be like, oh man, that actually worked out for the best. The reason why I have that mindset is because I spend so much time intentionally looking back at, hey, what happened in the past day? What happened in the past month? What has it brought me? What am I grateful for? Okay, so I'm looking at, in the past week, month, year, what am I finding gratitude in? And looking at the scenarios which maybe didn't go so well originally, but where have they brought me? I would not have planned on doing it this way. It wasn't part of my plan. It worked out for the best. Might not have been what I wanted, might not have been what I prayed for, right? But some of the best things in life that can happen to you are those unanswered prayers where, hey, there's a bigger plan in place than you can see, right? And the thing that you're praying for may be too small for you, may be wrong for you. In your current mindset, hey, it's the thing that you think you want. But there's a bigger plan for you. And when you can make it a daily habit of reflecting back on the past, finding things to be grateful for, looking at the lessons learned, it builds you this mentality that you know, hey, I've got 30 years of looking back on things and saying, this thing didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Thank God. Look where it brought me now. Look at the blessings that came from my life from the thing that I thought was a failure in the moment. And when you start to do that continually, right, in your head, you're like building this association between failure and feedback, right? It's how you progress forward, because you understand it's not a failure by social media standards. It's something that gave you some feedback that pushed you in a different direction than you wouldn't have gone yourself. But now you're in a great spot because of it, because you practice that intentional gratitude, because you look for the blessings, so you look for those things. Guess what? You're going to find them. And that's what reflection is all about. It's about looking back on things that have happened in the past and understanding the lessons. It's about finding the feedback. It's about figuring out, hey, if I did this energy audit and I figured out these are the things that I don't like doing, these are the things I enjoy, and making some changes in my day, right? I figured out on Saturday what went bad, what went right, what can I avoid, what can I do more of? And Sunday I made a little change. I said, hey, today I'm going to do this differently. Was it a better day or not? Did I feel better at the end of it? Reflect. Look back at the end of your day and say, hey, did that change I made help or hurt? Do it again tomorrow. Okay, that reflection, that looking back on, hey, where am I at the end of my day? How do I feel? What brought me joy today? What am I grateful for? That habit, when you do it daily, will give you so much information. Right? But a lot of us, we skip that part because it's not as fun or intoxicating or distracting as laying in your bed at the end of the day and scrolling TikTok for an hour until you drop the phone in your face. It happens to all of us. Okay? So you're not wrong for wanting to do it. I get the idea of escapism. Sometimes you just need to mentally get away. But when you start putting in things like reflection in the course of your day, and you do them intentionally, you're going to start to receive so many benefits from it. And those benefits are going to start to build and to build and to build to the point where, like, how did I even get this life? It happens day by day. And one of the biggest shortcuts that you can do is reflect. Look back on, hey, what are the things I'm grateful for? What are the lessons I learned? What are the pain points that I don't want to do again? You got to start reflecting on where you're at in your life. Taking the temperature of, hey, what's going right? What's going wrong? What do I want to do today? So that's what I want to encourage you this week, is to start reflecting. Do it today. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to encourage you to sit in silence for 2 minutes. Give it 2 minutes. Think about what you're grateful for. Think about what went right, what you don't want to do again, what you do want to do again. Give it a little thought. You can make a little note to yourself. You can make a mental note. Just take the temperature. Do it again the next day. Okay, if you can get through a whole week of reflecting every day, even for a minute a day, you're going to start to see that you've incrementally improved yourself every day. You've reflected on, hey, where did this past day bring me? What do I want to repeat? What do I want to avoid? And you start repeating the things that brought you joy. You start avoiding the things that brought you discomfort, that brought you pain, that brought you frustration. You start to live a better life. It's 1% a day. It might even be half a percent a day. But unless you start putting that into practice, it's 0. And I want you to move forward. Okay, so this week I want to encourage you to start reflecting. Start doing it right now. Like not in 5 minutes, not after you do a thing. Go do it literally right now.